Let me just tell you, I swear to God, you can't win in this place. Oh, by the way, this is going to be our Valentine's Day podcast. So happy Valentine's Day if you're watching it. Yeah.
And happy new studio.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we're in the new room.
Yay!
Not that you can see too much of it right now, but
I wish I would have worn my Valentine's Day stuff.
Oh well, it's all right.
Yeah.
Now listen. First, do you want to see what's happened to my hands?
What happened to your hands?
So it's cold weather here, as we know, for the most part. Look at how my hand is starting to chap now. Can you see that in the picture?
In your thumb?
Yes, my thumb. It's like a crevice. I have a canyon in my thumb.
Let me see that.
Can you see it?
Yes. This happens
hurts
to my nail girl all the time because she's constantly washing her hands and filing, and her hands get so dry. She has the same thing that happens.
It is like a split to the bone.
Yeah, she'll. Well, that's extreme. She'll glue the hole, like the two pieces, back together. She just throws in a little nail glue.
Oh.
Squeezes it together. And
she could have a new service. I could go to her instead of getting my nails done.
You can get your hands done.
Nobody wants to do a pedicure either on these toes. Oh my God.
I don't know what my significant other is doing for Valentine's Day. We didn't really plan on anything this year. Nothing big.
Well, so it's a Tuesday. You both work early.
Right.
What are you going to do?
No, he said, I just figured I'd have to cook you dinner. I don't know if he said have to, but he said I figured
in your head, that's what you heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's all I really want. I just want him to cook me dinner this year.
So the reason I'm annoyed, I swear to God, it just never fails in this place. It never fails. So you were out doing something prior to the podcast, a lot of running around. You have a big event coming up in a couple weeks.
Yep.
And all the details are always taking control of your life about this time. I'm sitting in here. I'm nerding out for a couple minutes. I'm eating my lunch, literally holding it, eating my lunch, nerding out, watching a Star Trek Picard Season 3 teaser, because in 2 days after this podcast airs, it'll be the premiere date of it. In comes one of our sales reps, wants to have a chitty chat. I'm like, got a mouthful of food. I'm like, whoa.
This is my biggest pet peeve. I hate when people talk to me while I'm eating. I'm like, can I just have 10 minutes? You need to start putting a sign on the door that says lunch or do not disturb.
Leave me alone.
Or whatever.
This video's 8 minutes.
Well,
I am literally 3 minutes into it, and I had to stop, and that was 30 minutes ago.
It's the same thing, though. This is where you have to say to them, and I think that we have to train people, as much as this can get annoying, is to take a meeting. But if you do that, Scott, you have to also follow this rule, because the other day Scott was like, we need to have a meeting right now. And I'm like, right now? So here I am. I'm in the middle of everything for my big event. And then at the same time, I was trying to put an offer in on a house. And I'm like, I have to be to the...
That I didn't know.
Right. But regardless, it's still, you got to ask for a meeting. So I said, I knew I had to be at the bank by 3:00 with this offer. So I was like, okay. So I asked him, how long is this going to take? Oh, no more than 5 minutes. It was a little longer than 5 minutes. So here
10.
I'm rushing to the bank. So if you ask for this, that means you have to adhere to it too.
Well, in defense of that, why I had to pull us in all together very quickly. Because the powers that be don't exactly have a firecracker in their ass to get things done. And had you and I not gone in with our collective stroke and said, this needs to be worked on now, it wouldn't have been done. Really, I needed Allie to do that. I just stood there. But, in that case.
Waited a day.
And that's rare. No, that's rare that I do that. When's the last time I said, we need to have a meeting right now? When's the last time I've done that? You can't even name the date.
I can't name the date, but it's a Scott thing. Like, we got to talk to Wendy right now. We're going to.
Well, it was, it wasn't you and me. I wasn't trying to inconvenience you. I was trying to motivate them to do something.
I understand. I'm just telling you that you're the king of, wait, we got to talk about it right now. So if
I like things fixed quickly.
If you, and they are doing the same to you by coming in here while you're trying to eat lunch and enjoy your Picard. So
can't be a hypocrite on this.
That's fine, Scott.
Don't gang up, ass.
That's fine, but you have to follow your own rule.
Very good. We'll have a meeting immediately following this podcast in regards to your words.
It's not it's not my Google Calendar. I didn't accept the invite.
I'll text you a note on it in just a moment here. No, I'm kidding.
One of my girlfriends, she works for Progressive, and she blocks out times when she will not take a meeting. She says, I have to.
Office hours for professors.
Yes.
Like, you can come see me anytime between here and here.
Because she's a work from home person.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah, she's a work from home person. So everybody has to request a meeting with her. her, and she will specifically. She's like, "No way, I need my time."
Okay. Well, thanks for humbling me. I appreciate you. Quinn, what's on your plate?
Well, I want to bring something up that we talked about, I think, a few podcasts ago. We talked about who would be more likely to meet a billionaire.
Oh my gosh!
Well, didn't we decide that was her? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, my parents listened to that episode, and they told me.
Oh God! And I told a filthy joke in that episode. Filthy.
So my mom goes, "Quinn, you've met billionaires."
I knew it.
You were right.
I said it was going to be Femke and Jan, that they're rubbing the elbows with the Corning people.
Something about them Europeans. They all know them.
They had nothing to do with Corning or New York.
How do you know these billionaires? And how do I get to know these
They
billionaires?
live across the street from a Trump compound.
We a couple years ago, we went to a wedding in Seattle. Mm-hmm. And so the groom who was getting married, it used to be my babysitter and lived like across the street from us in when we lived in Texas when I was a kid. And so he was getting married, and his wife now, their family has a little bit of money.
Oh,
so
billionaires, a little money.
At least million. So, well, here's the thing is, I don't know about their financial status, but I do remember them saying, "Oh, by the way, the owner of the Seahawks lives across the street."
Whoa!
And down the street, Bill Gates' vacation house.
Okay, they're billionaires.
You definitely know billionaires.
Wow, that's impressive.
I definitely spoke to some without maybe realizing it, and it was a fancy water.
Oh man, what was the food?
I don't
Caviar
remember
as the appetizer.
Yeah, absolutely. Pinkies out, everybody.
So it is me. The answer is
Quinn.
Quinn.
It was you. Dang it.
Well, it was funny because the way it played out was Allie was the one most likely to meet one and probably get to know one. And your case, you kind of, you were with your parents, you sort of fell into finding out they were. But I still hold to you.
They come to me.
Yeah, yes, they come to you. Yes.
Are you connected enough that you could ask for tickets?
I don't think they live in Seattle. The wedding was just there because it was her hometown.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So,
wow.
Unfortunately.
All right.
I think they live in California somewhere.
Oh.
Well, you need some money to do that. That's not a cheap place.
Okay, update number one. Did you have another update?
No, that was it.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me that you also hopped a train, which was in that previous episode too.
No, I was not.
That was 2 episodes ago.
Right.
I was not running hobo status, no.
Okay, got it.
Very good. Hey, it's Scott from the Scott and Allie Show and the Scott and Allie Not For Air podcast. We're at one of my favorite places right now, Floral Fantasy here in Elmira on Main Street. I recommend you get yourself down here, whether it's for Valentine's Day or any occasion. Come on in. This is what I came for, along with the flowers. I got some work to do, so let's go make some purchases. Hi, Robert. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, you're going to want to ring all those up for me. I have a lot of work to make up for over the past year, but this will help. Robert, take us up, show us upstairs really quick where you guys make the magic of the beautiful arrangement. Okay, now, Robert's wife, Emily. So you've obviously arranged more flowers probably in your life than I have, I'm assuming, yes?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we want to take something back to Allie. We're going to surprise her with it, and I need your help.
Absolutely.
So what are we starting with here? We've got...
This is our Bella vase.
Nice.
Bella meaning beautiful, of course.
Of course,
Very,
yes.
very
Fits
good.
well for Allie, doesn't it?
There you go, see?
Okay, so what do I do with these? I mean, they look like they go on the plate next to the steak.
Don't eat them.
Okay, oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, in it goes?
Yep. You want to tuck them down a little bit so that you're making that nest right about the neck.
This might be about as good as it gets on my end. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, next comes the fun part, the
Oh,
roses. So
okay.
Start with a tall one because you're going to want to start in your center.
These would be incredible.
Okay, fancy.
And how many am I grabbing here? 12?
Yep, you're going to want 12.
Wow, these are huge.
The heads are big. They're
Yeah,
beautiful.
1, 2. I've been told the same thing about mine.
Choose a tall one because we're going to start in the center and kind of make a triplet pattern. Do like 1, 2, 3 up
Okay,
high.
well, all right.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It really is.
Yeah.
All right, look at this.
Hey.
New skill set, always good to learn.
There you
I just
go.
took a thorn up the thumb. That was real fun.
Oh. No, you don't want fluffy. It's
I
good.
got fluff?
No, it's good. I like that.
Oh, it is. Oh, I don't have to
Yeah.
do anything.
Oh, that's going to be great.
Yeah, see, it's either beginner's luck or I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
This is how you whittle. Ha! It was a thorn.
So the center is a lot taller.
Okay.
And then these need to be a little shorter.
It smells incredibly fresh in here. That's to describe it. It really has a really great smell.
Much better.
Oh,
much
Look at
better.
that.
It's just a matter of tweaking it.
Yes.
The baby's breath is behind you.
Oh, okay. So how much of this do we need to get?
A couple stems.
All right.
It's pretty full. And then it'll kind of fill in the gaps. Make it a little bit lower than your flowers.
Okay. Now, I feel like I didn't get enough. Should I put another little piece on
definitely.
there?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna put a couple around. Oh, yeah. Allie's gonna love this.
Yours, yeah.
No, that's beautiful.
I'm trying to get too fancy, doing too many at once.
You are trying to shortcut, that's true. One at a time.
Maybe you should help me on this a little bit.
Where do I begin? You know what?
Okay, so looking at it,
It's acceptable.
it's acceptable.
acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
It's
bad.
not that, but it's okay. I see
Right.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes, it's not bad.
All right. Well, I think we did it. We did all
Yes,
right.
awesome. Thank
She's the
you.
star right there. She did it right.
Good job.
You actually have your early Valentine's Day present walking in the studio right now. And this is the bouquet that I made yesterday.
You're so sweet,
And
Scott.
I'm not joking. That is the
You
bouquet.
did not make this.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes, I did. I made this yesterday.
Aw.
And Allie just got herself a dozen of what we call hippie roses.
Oh, they totally look like something that I would take to a Fish concert.
But yeah, made you
This is so sweet.
got yourself an early bouquet of
Oh my
flowers
gosh,
there.
they're so big.
I know. Well, would you expect less?
No, never.
Not at all.
Well, thanks, Scott.
Thank you to Floral Fantasy
No,
and
God.
enjoy your flowers.
Now I got to get something for you.
Guys, just another reminder, don't forget Floral Fantasy here in Elmira. You don't want to miss it. Robert, Emily, you're wonderful. Thank you for showing me how to do a proper arrangement. Stop and see these folks for any occasion. It's a family-run business. They're wonderful, and they're going to take care of you for any holiday or special occasion right here at Floral Fantasy. Well, in honor of Valentine's Day, would you like to go down Scott's seedy path?
We wouldn't go there anyway, but
I impregnated 3 women. No, I'm just kidding.
You know, I was thinking about it. It's a day for love, and it's a day where if you don't have love, then you'll appreciate both my stories very much because they deal with falling out of love. But we were talking about this, and everybody likes to focus on the good of Valentine's Day, the great things that happen.
Not Scott.
I thought it would be kind of funny to tell you about my 2 most disastrous breakups and a possible third if we have time for it.
Annette might be calling in. No, I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
well, we won't go down the 4th yet.
let's start with one.
Okay, so number 1, Allie knows this story. I just want your reaction on
Okay.
this. This did not happen on Valentine's Day. This is my seedy previous life, and I feel like I've lived a million of them. So, it was my birthday, and I think I was turning 20. And I'm looking at Allie like, was I turning 20? I didn't even know you when I was 20.
I wasn't there.
So, no, you weren't. So my girlfriend at the time, Nicole, she threw me, one of those, you're going to be 20 birthday parties at somebody's house. And I had my friends that were there and all that stuff. And this random guy and his buddy show up. And they were there too. And I'd never met him. And this was at my birthday party. And and it's kind of funny because we're coming up to my birthday again. So this is like an anniversary of this happening like 30 years ago. So maybe more. So, the whole night, no clue who this guy is, but I start noticing as the night goes on that Nicole is starting to do that also around the 20 mark, kind of paying attention, the almost immature flirty, that sort of a thing. So I'm like, well, exactly what's going on. Quinn? How do you like this? Here's Valentine's horror story number 1 on my birthday, which is not Valentine's Day. I got dumped that night so she could, on my birthday, so she could go home with that guy.
Yep.
And
What
then,
a bitch.
then a few months later, moved to Montana with him.
I don't know if
Yellowstoning it.
I don't know if I knew that part.
That part of it. Oh, it gets better.
I want to know if they're still together.
Sweet, sweet revenge on this one. So it must have been 3 years later, and it was one of those in-between times, and I ended up finding out Nicole was back home. Well, we ended up going out a couple more times, just, kind of connecting this and that. Let me just tell you, I got back in that like you wouldn't believe for a very short. So I kind of got the revenge out of it. You know what I'm saying?
But did you dump her then?
It just never developed to that.
You grew apart.
Apparently, you guys were both in that for the same reason.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sure, I could have let it go. It flustered me.
What happened to Montana guy? They just totally
I don't
broke
know.
up?
I guess they just broke up or whatever the
shot
case
by Kevin
was.
Costner.
Yeah.
Okay, so when she came home, it wasn't like for Christmas break.
No, and it was one of those things where I didn't even know. I don't even remember how I found out. I just remember going back to that treat, if you will, again. When I say treat, I'm not talking relationship. You know what I'm kind of getting at there, you know? So that was number one.
Okay.
The number two, and this has got to make people feel better because, I look at it like this. I share these stories with you of my epic fails so that you can know no matter what's happening in your world on Valentine's Day, it's going to be better.
Yep.
So this one, not my birthday, not Valentine's Day. My biggest epic breakup to date. I mean, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow?
Wait, can I go back to your first one though?
Oh, sure.
I just have
more questions.
No, it's not a question. It's more of a statement. It's funny how like you were really proud to go back, and every time
For one reason.
I know, but every time that I've gone back, I always hate myself.
Wait, you've gone back to other?
We've broken up and then like hooked up afterwards.
Okay,
yes.
but how close was it? Like, was
in
it
time or
yes, in time.
my heart?
No, I don't know that a hookup's
I still love him.
I'm talking about like from the breakup to the time that you hooked up.
The first one was probably a couple weeks, and then the second time.
That's too close.
Okay, I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Because the other one was, it was within a couple weeks
No,
as well.
after the second
and I
round.
felt yucky.
After the second round didn't turn out because she had moved back into her parents' house, which was fine. I knew her parents and all that stuff. I mean, I had no problem
You were
with
still
that.
coming by.
Oh, of course I was. I
So
can't.
you were on like her day bed with like
Wow,
her
let's not little girl this, okay?
Her stuffed animals.
No,
and
but-
just like kick it across the room.
No, but I can tell you this.
Get out of here, you pound puppy.
That's what I called her. At least the second time around. No, but I do remember, and Allie's going to love this part. I was not going to say this part, but I love this part. So apparently we had fallen asleep one night in her room after,
On her day bed.
there was no day bed. I think it was bunks. Sometimes it takes a minute, but we're done now.
So parents are like, knock, knock, knock.
No.
Okay.
I don't remember what happened, but I remember at some point during the night, either her dad opened the door or something, and I was sound asleep, but the sheets were all still off me. So there I was with it flopped right out.
You didn't get chased out?
Her dad, oh no, she was a full-grown adult, just happened to be living in the house there.
So one time-
from what I remember, that family was very sexual too. Like mom and dad still used to, so.
I'll never forget this one time. I was hooking up with a guy. That sounds so terrible. So me and this guy, we spent the night at his father's house. And the reason did you like that?
House?
You're so flustered.
This is a tough story for me to hear. It's like my sister telling it.
I don't think I've ever really told anybody this story. It's so stupid. But anyway, it was his 21st birthday, and we partied like it was everyone's 21st birthday. So
the whole world.
Yeah. So everyone that came with us, we were all like, yeah. So we ended up at crashing in his dad's house. And similarly enough to that story, so we hugged him, and then his dad came in to get his work clothes the next morning, and here we are like naked, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so awkward.
It's an awkward, but yet at my point, it was also awkward and a touch of pride. I don't know what to say about
no
that.
pride on my side.
I feel like it's easier for you, Scott, because you were just unconscious. So you're like,
I
you
didn't
were
know what
told
happened.
about it later on.
I was told later on. I'm like,
Oh no!
boy,
I did the
there's
whole
that.
like one eye. I'm like, act like I'm sleeping. Act like I'm sleeping. Act like I'm sleeping.
Slowly
grab the
Don't look at this. Don't look at this. Don't look at this.
Oh my God!
Yeah, no,
I
I'm
can't
not
believe
smiling at you from down here.
I can't believe I just told that story. Oh,
It's not a good morning smile.
I know. No, I'm like, I can't believe your dad saw my boobies. really not proud of that.
So the second one, and really the best part to this entire story is, again, how brutally I was defeated in this. So for those that, and I have to say, God rest her soul, she's dead. So I moved from Buffalo originally to Florida. I followed a girl down, and let me just tell you, that's a lesson. Unless you got your ducks in a row, don't do it. Unless it's a family decision. But I was young, I was dumb, thought I was deeply in love and all this stuff. And she had a job where she was going to become more or less a utility person at a kind of a high-end resort in Delray Beach, Florida.
Oh.
And I mean, sometimes she'd work front desk, sometimes she'd be more of a concierge, sometimes, so it was a step up for her. Problem with radio is
housekeeping? Housekeeping.
Problem with radio is we don't get to quit a job and instantly walk into a new job unless you're quitting the job because you have a new job. It's not an industry where you're like, I'm here. They're like, what? So I told her, I said, it's going to take me some time to get established. I'm leaving what I have already, but I'm coming with you because we're all in love.
Right. Because I'm a sucker.
Oh, yeah, totally. So it was about July that we moved down. Well, it was in September or October it was later. It was like October. And I started noticing her doing I'm going outside on the patio to talk on the phone more. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So, and this is before you could hack into someone's cell phone and find out all the info you wanted to know. You had to literally still spy it out. Somehow I found out that she was talking to another guy. Now, mind you, you should have the respect. I moved down there with you. I'm struggling to get established. I may be kind of a loser at the moment, but come on, I took a pretty big step here, I mean, Buffalo to West Palm Beach is not 50 miles, So at any rate, we're down there. Well, things rapidly fell apart because she got very hooked up and involved with this guy, which also was kind of amusing because she got knocked up by this guy. But before all that, happened, right before that, when the relationships are going south and it's just fighting nonstop.
Yes.
It's just fighting. Quinn has got us by witness. We had a fight one time and I picked up the Christmas tree from the living room and threw it out the patio door. It was like a soap opera moment. I'm like, and you pile of crap, and I'm just like, out the door it went.
What does Santa Claus have to do with this?
I don't know. I thought I was making a grandiose statement. I have thrown a Christmas tree straight out of an apartment building.
And she was like, ass.
Totally. And actually, her friend was in town from Buffalo that she had invited down that I was never a fan of. And so this guy got to witness this couple fight, or lack thereof of the couple anymore. Me throwing a Christmas tree out of the apartment completely. I mean, it was epic. However, again, sweet revenge. So she ends up. Turns out the guy that she was interested in ended up being the car hop for the damn resort. This guy was parking cars for a living. I mean, I know I had nothing at the moment, but at least I had dreams, right?
I felt like this was going to be so White Lotus.
Oh, man. So he's parking cars. That's his big opportunity in life. Apparently lived on some dilapidated sailboat out on the water. She gets knocked up by him.
Yeah, he had a job and you did.
Yes, but I had dreams. He was parking cars.
You're right.
His former job was way more established.
Big difference. Dreams, parking cars. Okay,
right.
So I just
dreams don't pay bills, Scott.
I wish they did.
Appreciate the schooling twice in this. Glad you're enjoying yourself. I'm just saying, it was sweet revenge in both cases because her life ended up, from what I understand, she had a lovely daughter who grew up to be very, a very good person. And I've never met the daughter or anything. Yes. But, life, I guess, finally settled for her. But it was great because here, my life took off after that whole thing. Within a couple months, things started going great. My career took off and you're living on a sailboat, knocked up. Good luck.
Oh my gosh!
Not a nice sailboat either. That was from what I heard. So that's 2
without sails.
Yeah, right.
Do you want number 3 of my devastated breakup stories? Since we're having fun with Valentine's Day,
we're gonna have to save that for next time.
Oh, I can make it quick. Are you sure?
Can you make it 2 minutes or less?
I can make that whole thing with the meeting where you said the meeting was going to be quick.
It's up to you. You didn't book anything for after this. I figure it's Valentine's Day. I'm not revisiting this till next year, and I'll forget. Okay,
go.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. This girl was Tracy. So Tracy and I were together. together.
I
And
love the name drops, by the way.
I know,
yeah, well,
right?
yeah, well, they're gonna find me. Let them find me, you know. So and
Easily, Scott and Allie show.
you're right. So Tracy and I had a nice thing going years and years ago, and as it turned out, we were both very young, so I can let this one slide. So it turns out that Tracy, of course, like some younger girls do, they're eye wanders, you know, and so she ends up hooking up with this super skinny wannabe band guy in Buffalo, you know, because every girl has to have the band guy at some point in their life. And that was my other breakup, was being dumped for the super skinny band guy who was going to have like no future, like none. This wasn't the guy that was going to be on tour at some point and this and that. So I feel like I won again in that one.
Less successful than the car park guy.
I noticed the common denominator, though. They were all leaving you for other men.
You couldn't have said losers? You couldn't have said losers? You could have raised me up one notch.
Loving this.
One of them came back to me for a brief period.
You're just like, look, it's all your fault, Scott, is what you're saying right now.
Happy Valentine's Day.
That's so mean.
I love you, Scott.
I hate you.